why math? And it's like your math journey, how you got here, what led you to math. You are the past president of the National Council of Teachers of Mathematics and currently an associate dean of diversity, equity, and inclusion at the University of Virginia. And so how did math lead you on this path?
All right. Well, I appreciate the question. I think there are a couple of things. I actually benefited from the things I push back against now, right? And what I say that, and I know I'm going to sound contradictory, but so I was one of those students I would say in elementary school. On those time tests, I was the fastest. So I got the star. I got I can remember you got so many stars, you get an ice cream sandwich for lunch and things of that nature. So I benefited from those things that I am now probably an advocate against. So time tests, tracking, those kinds of things as well. Does it mean that I made good grades? No, it didn't. Actually, in terms of, say, in elementary, I was a pretty decent student. Probably all the way through probably 10th grade. I benefited from tracking. But I would say I was probably kind of more marginal BC-ish type of student, an occasional A here or there type of student. So I was tracked with the students that were perceived to be high achieving, but was I performing at the top of their group? Certainly not. I actually struggled a lot. And so, yeah, but for me, I ended up in this space kind of, I guess, kind of in interesting ways. I'm sorry, I'm pausing because there's a lot of this. There's a lot here. One, I was, in college, I was a civil engineering majoring in civil engineering. I did well in physics. I did well. College, I was a better student in college. Yeah. I made really good grades as an undergrad. After my first year. um, and so, but I came to realize very early, shortly thereafter, the civil engineering was not my thing. I just, it was just something. So I ended up in a counselor's office, like really just saying, here are all my courses. Tell me what the major is. I wish I'd have came through this kind of in a very honest way. Um, but I will say this: I come from my family are preachers and teachers. I got uncles who are pastors of churches. My grandfather he's a deacon in the church. He was a significant part of the church where my family's from. So aunts and uncles who are teachers work in schools and things of that nature. And so I was resistant to that. I was resistant to being a preacher or a teacher because that is not what I wanted to have ever been. But somehow I ended up becoming a middle school mathematics teacher. And so yeah, it was that kind of journey, kind of, you know, I initially went into engineering because I thought I could make a lot of money with all of those things, and ended up in teaching. But I became a teacher and I was really good at it. I'm not, I felt like I was good. I felt like I connected with my students. I felt all the things where, how one has a sense of confidence about that they know that they are doing well. I felt that. And I worked in the school district in Newport News, Virginia, where I first started teaching. I worked in the school district in the middle of Section 8 housing. And so I was very comfortable and working with students. And we had, it was fun. I'm telling you, it was really, it was, I connect, we had, I mean, my students were highly engaged. And maybe because my youthfulness didn't get in my, didn't get my way. I kind of embraced it, right? And so when I say I kind of embraced it, because the school was in the community, I was like, we're gonna go talk to your mama right now. And I know where you live. We walking right on down there, right? I mean, it's that kind of sense of community and trust I built immediately. And I didn't have much issues with parents or the community because I was really a part of that, right? I integrated myself into that. And so for me, teaching in that way, and math was just, a residual of being in their major that was kind of connected to that. And, you know, I again, I was that person who stayed in the school building, and I'm not an advocate for this right now, but I stayed there to 6:30, 6 o'clock. If you needed me, I'm there. Maybe that speaks to how the lack of social life I had at that age. Um, but it was, it it was engaging. It was a significant part of my identity as well. And so yeah, I think I may have over answered your question, but it's that. And so math for me was just something that was a trajectory. I had a sixth grade teacher. Her name was Mrs. Cherry.